Welcome back to the All Purpose Pod for an All Purpose Life. Wherever you are and however you're listening, so they call me Mr. U and the Inspiration Station. Thank you again for making us part of your week. This episode may be a little bit more somber than the others. I still aspire to encourage you through this. This is a tough topic for me personally. It's a real topic for me. Have you ever heard the bitter cry? I don't know if this is too graphic for you guys, but I'm just sharing my heart, just what I do. So hopefully you know my heart by now. But I've heard the cry of a child who is hungry, crying for milk, a baby, an infant. But have you ever heard the sound of a baby that's starving, that hasn't had milk or water in days? Have you heard that cry? It's a different sound. It's a different sound when your pet is hungry than when a pet is starving and hasn't been fed. The sound is different. Am I helping anybody already so far yet? It's a different sound. When I talk about a bitter cry, it's a sound. Excuse me. It's a sound. I can't even explain the sound. I just know it when I hear it. I know it because I've made the sound. It's come out of Mr. U. Let me give you some scriptural examples for this. I think they might help out with some of the context. Take note of Genesis, the 27th chapter, verse 38. Excuse me. Genesis 27:38. Now, the situation here is, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. Two brothers, father getting ready to die, and it's time for him to pass on the inheritance, speak a blessing over the two children, and give them their inheritance before he passes away. It's a tradition in Hebrew culture, and other cultures as well, but in that culture specifically. One of the brothers, with his mom's help, tricks the other brother into giving up his birthright or his blessing. So what happened was he uses subterfuge and he pretended to be his brother who was out hunting to give his father his favorite, make it his father's favorite dish, excuse me. And while he was out hunting, his brother pretended to be him back from hunting really early to steal his birthright and steal his legacy and his promise. So the son who was hunting just to go make a meal for his father loved so much, his father's favorite dish, comes back and realizes that his brother has stolen his birthright, and now he's confronting his father, asking him these questions. Have you none but one blessing, father? Do you have but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Genesis 27:38. Esau, the brother that was out hunting for his father's favorite dish, come back to find out that he didn't have a blessing left. It was stolen from him. You can't hear it because the Bible doesn't have sound attached to it. But hear the words. Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And verse 34 says that the sound he made out of his mouth was a great and exceeding bitter cry. I don't know if you even know what that means, what it sounds like. Maybe you just live such a good life. You haven't had the opportunity to make a sound like this. But the Bible says it's a great and exceeding. I mean, it's beyond regular crying. It's deep and substantial to a level. It produces bitterness. I know this because I lived it. I try to make this as short as I can, but this is a powerful story, in my opinion. Hopefully it impacts you. But this was months after my natural father had passed. I spent my entire life, short story, I spent my entire life basically trying to find out who he was. My mom gave me a picture of him singing at the nightclub. I said, what? My father can sing? 'Cause that's where I got the singing gift from. It sure wasn't from mom. She don't sing. Just to be real about it. She don't sing. She's watching. She'll own it. I ain't talking about it. She knows it's true. She can't sing. So I'm like, oh, my father can sing. That makes sense. Now I know where the singing voice comes from. I was singing since I was a little kid. So I spent years, and I mean that quite literally, chasing him, trying to find out where he is, get to know him, create a relationship, try to find out why he didn't want to be with me. So in that time, I found myself, chasing him. Long story short, finally caught up to him, but I didn't get what I was looking for, and he ended up passing. I was asked by my little sister to go bury him, the whole deal. I was bitter, but I went ahead and buried him, took care of all of his situation because I just wanted to do that. It was a God thing. It wasn't a Yusuf thing. But in that time, with him passing and having so many unresolved issues, I needed the validation of community really badly. I was watching the lives of men get blessed. And when it was my turn, I feel like I wasn't getting blessed. And I saw it play out one time at a 2-day men's retreat. It was at the church that I used to go to many years ago. I won't name the ministry because there's no point in that. But we went to a 2-day men's retreat, and our spiritual father, the lead pastor of the church, was one of the main people who were praying over all of the men. Now, my dad already passed. I had unresolved issues. Nothing got solved. I went to his body on the morgue, on the icy slab at the morgue. Pounds on his chest saying, "You come back. We're not done yet." Screaming inside the morgue. Wasn't quite the bitter cry, but it was loud. It could have been that. I screamed like somebody was killing me. "You got to come back. We're not done. I got questions. I need answers." This is powerful stuff, man. And I'm standing on the line to be prayed for at this retreat. All my friends that I drove with, all our friends that I'm active with in the ministry at the time, everybody getting prayed for, and the pastor's giving them these incredible words. He's speaking things over them like, man, I feel like they were just getting some of the best words I ever heard. And everybody was going through the line, and I was the next person up. Almost the entire room got prayed for, basically. There was maybe one or two people on a different line getting prayed for. I was the last one on the line with my senior pastor. I put myself in that place because I wanted his blessing. I'll be honest about it. I needed validation. I've been serving in this ministry for, I think, about 5 years at a time. I said, I need you to speak to me because I'm hurting right now. And I walked up to him. He looked at me, knew my name and everything, because I served in multiple areas of ministry under his leadership. And like Esau, when I got to him, he didn't have anything to give me. You can tell on his face, he didn't even know what to pray. And I saw it right away, and the hurt that I felt inside me was palpable. It was like no hurt I've ever experienced in my entire life. And after he got finished praying, I went over to the corner of the room and I just buckled. They were having a service in here. I just buckled. I didn't care who was there. I didn't care what it sounded like. If I was being a distraction, are they going to carry me out? I didn't care what was going to happen. I buckled in that corner and I cried and wailed. I even heard the sound myself a few times. It sounded like what we talked about just now, an exceeding bitter cry. And I cried and wailed. Father, don't you have a blessing for me? Is there anything for me? The pain was so unbearable. It was unnatural. If I didn't have a wife and children at home, I wouldn't feel like I would have anywhere to go back to. I felt like I was at the end of myself, the end of the road for me. I needed to be blessed. I needed to be encouraged. I needed to be inspired. I needed to be engaged. I needed to be uplifted. I'm there with a bunch of men who were getting theirs. I wasn't getting anything I needed. That was just a portion of what I feel like Esau felt. Why am I saying all this? Why am I sharing these stories with you guys today? Because somewhere it feels as though we don't value how privileged we are to have what we have. I said at the outset, I was going to give you a key to overcoming the biggest snare known to global man, excuse me, to man himself. Because that snare is abandonment. When that happens, it changes the entire trajectory of your life. Books like Wild at Heart by John Eldredge and so many other books, Fathered by God, they speak to that because it's important, it's spiritual, it's substantial, it matters. And when you abandon, the spirit that comes with that, it's something about that it's like it's you can't just shake it off. You can't replace it with people and have people stand in their places. You got to be delivered and set free from it, because it's that powerful to be at a place where you feel like you've been left, you've been dropped, you've been forgotten. It's the kind of pain that it's hard to shake off. It took me years to shake it off, years to get free from it, to be honest with you. I think we're at the point in the episode where I can't even explain it any further. I can't go any more than this. But what I will say is this. When I realized the love of the Father, my Father in heaven, that was the only replacement for the pain and the abandonment. I realized that a man can change his mind and leave, go to the store and get some smokes and never come back. But the Father who is in heaven is in you, and he will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. Sorry to cut it short because time's against us, but maybe we'll talk about it again. But I want you to understand that if somebody's dropped you, if they've left you, if they've forsaken you, God would never do that. Trust him. Don't trust man.